best. From the bleachers, cheering loud, a father and his child. Every driver, heart aflame, and adrenaline runs wild. It's the circle track showdown on the dusty, dry, slick ground. Four wide, side by side, with glory to be found. Hammer down, around we go, looking for more speed. This ain't no asphalt ballet, and nothing's guaranteed. Cars running on the high side, looking for more grip, drifting sideways and holding tight, trying not to flip. Rubbing fenders, bumping doors, ain't no time for doubt. Pushing hard past the limit, we're truly going all out. It's the circle track showdown on the dusty, dry, slick ground. Four wide, side by side, with glory to be found. Hammer down, around we go, looking for more speed. This ain't no asphalt ballet, and nothing's guaranteed. Checkered flag flapping in the breeze. Heart is pounding, mud is flying, bringing us to our knees. Cross the line, a thunderous cheer, victory has been claimed. King of the track, the champion here, the track has been tamed. It's the circle track showdown on the dusty, dry, slick ground.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome in as we get ready to rock and roll here this evening with the Circle Track Showdown. It is the Dirt Warrior Racing League, ready to go to battle, ready to duke it out here this evening in the always amazing, always wonderful Williams Grove Speedway. This is going to be a lot of fun. This is going to be some great racing action. We can't wait to see all these drivers out there on the speedway looking to lay down some quick times, hoping to try to put themselves up and into victory lane here this evening. As top 20 drivers in qualifying automatically lock their way into the show here as qualifying has come to a close. And for all the other drivers that have been around, have been here, have been doing this for a long time, they will all earn themselves a provisional into the show as well. As Maddie, what's good, Mr. Fletchel? Maddie says, hey, what's up, Maddie? How are you, Mr. Fletchel? Fletchel coming in, showing the love. As Dave Morgan with that heart reaction says, let's go Sextons, cheering on the Sextons group here this evening as you take a look at one of the Sextons right there on the speedway, ready to rock and roll, ready to go to battle here. He was quickest in qualifying, should start in that pole position, unless if he's got an EOL, it may have to go to the back of the pack here as Brian Ellington. Brian also coming in, dropping that follow over there on Facebook. Welcome to the Peacemaker family, welcome to the Peacemaker crew here this evening. Brian, welcome into the family as Mr. Fletchel with that heart reaction says, you might see me in this race. What? We might see Mr. Fletchel out there on the racetrack here tonight. I didn't see that. Oh, baby. There he is, ladies and gentlemen. Matt Fletchel making a comeback here, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Don't call it a comeback just as yet, but he is out there on the racetrack. He is ready to rock and roll, ready to go to battle here this evening. We see Brian Wells out there on the track, as well as so many other very good, talented drivers ready to duke it out, go to battle, have some fun here this evening. See Blake Doyle out there on the speedway as well. Good to see Blake out there in his 38 machine ready to rock and roll. Jackie Whaley, that beautiful iRacing iFlag JRE Number 720 ride there as that DWR ride ready to rock and roll. Chad Puderbo out there as well in his 20 ride ready to duke it out here this evening. The Dirt Panda Machine, the Grumpy Graphics ride ready to be set loose out there on the racetrack. Ty Ralph in attendance again here this evening as well. Going to see Ty back out there on the racetrack in his TNT Racing Machine. Tyson Pankow, Tyler Ryan out there as well. The 47 and the 91 right there together as we see Ethan Bill out there on the racetrack in that 14 ride, ready to go to battle here. The Elite Performance Industries ride down on the inside of the Speedway, ready to duke it out. Jamie Massey out there. We do see Jeremy Sexton, Philip Sexton as they're going to make contact together. The Sextons get tied together right there. Now we're going to have the 4X and the 66 as Charles Minders, and I do believe the 4X right in there. The 47, Marcos Pinks, all these drivers having a little bit of fun before the action gets underway, before the battling really starts to happen. This is just a good little warm-up session here for all these drivers to hop out onto the racetrack, make sure that their cars are absolutely locked in, ready to go, ready to duke it out here this evening. They're all going to be looking to try to put themselves into a position to potentially pick up the checkered flag here this evening. Some drivers going to be starting deeper in the field, going to have to work themselves up through traffic, so making sure that you have the best setup, the best gearing, the best fuel mileage, everything that you may need to help you out to try to work yourself up towards the front of the field is going to be the main objective here for a majority of these drivers here this evening. And some of that magic may just have to be from being up there on the racetrack, maybe hanging out a little deeper in the field, maybe avoiding some of the wrecks or caution flags that we may see out there on the racetrack. Keep yourself out of damage and try to minimize contact out there for the first little while, and maybe trying to save a little tire here. This is a big racetrack. It's one of the longer tracks here for the dirt side of iRacing, or at least to me it seems like it feels like it's one of those longer tracks, especially once you start to see this track get slicked off and you start to see drivers have to roll more of that outside lane to middle lane. Really starts to make these times a lot slower and definitely makes things that much more difficult. So if you can try to keep yourself out of trouble, try to keep yourself just point in the right direction and save those tires a little bit out there on the racetrack, may put yourself into a good position for later in this race. As Steven Stokes, what's good, Steven? Steven says, let's go Doghouse, cheering on all the Doghouse rides out there on the racetrack. It's my boy Charles Minders. What's good, Charles? Charles coming in, showing the love as well. Charlie Minders there with that like and the share on the stream. I appreciate that, brother. Rob Stefanski also coming in with that thumbs up on the broadcast. As ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you haven't already, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that follow and subscribe button as we get ready to duke it out here in just a little bit. What's up, Kev? Mr. Holler over there on YouTube showing the love, says, what's up, big guy? What's up, Holler? How are you, brother? Says, is this qualifying? No, this is no longer qualifying. This is just their warm-up session. This is just their time to kind of get their car set up, make sure that they are ready to rock and roll, ready to go to battle here today, as we'll get them all locked and loaded. Our A main feature event about to get underway here. I don't even know how many drivers are going to be starting this race. We take the top 20 no matter what. The top 20 automatically qualify into the show. If you're a driver that has a good standing with the DWRL league and you're good respectful racer out there, then they may give you a provisional. So we may see 25, we may see 30 drivers out there on the racetrack ready to go to battle here this evening, as they're all going to get loaded into the sim. Each and every one of them going to be looking for the win, as we'll get them ready to be set loose. It's going to be a lot of fun here seeing these drivers get ready to go to battles. It is Jeremy Sexton who will start in that pole position to his outside in the Lego ride here this evening. That is Jamie Massey in the Lego ride. They're in position number 2. Starting in the 3rd spot, it is the 2 ride of Ty Ralph to his outside in the 91. It is the Dirt Track Junkies Bulletproof Motorsports 91 of Tyson Pankow. Starting in position number 3 in the 28 ride, that is Cody B. McDonald to his outside, the DWR Grumpy Graphics Dirt Panda number 71, it's William Hargreaves. Starting in position number 7 in the 3 ride, that is the 3 machine right there of Douglas Stewart. To his outside will be the 4X ride of Ryan Howard. Starting in position number 9 here in the 42 ride, it's actually the 14, that is Ethan Bill. To his outside will be the 20 of Philip Sexton. That's where we see the number 46 7 ride. Actually, looks like the 720 of Jackie Whaley there. To his outside will be the 4 of Jason Calhoun. Then we see the 47 of Marcos Pace, the 26 of Matt Fletchell. There we see the number 57 of Jim Revis. To his outside will be the 74 of Tyler Hamrick. To his outside, and then we see Stephen Burrow, Tyler Ryan, James Ellington, Charles Minders, Steven Stefanski, Cody Ernest, Tim Taylor, Blake Doyle, Brian Wells, Jeremy Akins, Chad Puterbo, Derek Rice bringing up the rear of the field there in his Big Tim, Sexton Payton, Bobby Dunkhouse, Chassis Dunkhouse Racing Ride back there in position number 28. Looks like Chris Beaver's going to start from down on pit road here as well. Tough break there for Chris, but he will join the field as our 29th driver here this evening once we see that green flag fly. Justin Johnson, what's good, JJ? Justin, how are you, brother? Justin coming in, showing the love, dropping that like on the stream as well, the heart reaction. I appreciate that, my boy, coming in, showing the love here this evening as we get ready to set these drivers loose once again for another edition of the DWRL Circle Track Showdown as the green flag quickly into the air here this evening. As that 6th ride of Jamie Massey, the Lego ride up on the high side, looking to take the race lead, but down low it is the 20 ride of Mr. Sexton, who's able to jump out in front, takes that race lead. Down low you see Tyrell make a little contact right there with Massey. Oh baby, they almost go around and it opens up the door on the high side here for Pankow. Pankow quickly jumps up to the outside lane. He'll slide up into second, but has that 6th ride working down to his inside. Massey definitely going to try to recover from that one. Contact between him and Tyrell had him sideways there out at corner number 4. Luckily enough able to hang on to that ride, keep himself pointed the right direction, and keeps on battling. Look at these drivers, 2, 3, 4 wide down the front straightaway and in through these corners as Williams Grove Speedway, a great racetrack and putting on a great show early on here this evening for all of us to enjoy. As my boy Justin Johnson, what in the world? Justin coming in, setting it off with the 310-star dono. Says good luck TNT, cheering on all of his TNT teammates out there on the Speedway. I appreciate that, Justin, coming in, showing the big love as we see our first caution flag of the day fly. I'm amazed we made it that far. I'm amazed we haven't seen a caution flag before that. I don't know how they did not wreck at a corner number 2 when Massey was completely sideways out there on the racetrack. But let's take a look back and see what happens. It looks like Charles Minders. Oh, Minders going to be one of the first cars to get tied up in this one. The 66 ride kind of stuck in the middle here. Down the back straightaway, they send it into corner number 3. Gets a little slideways right there into the infield tractor tire. Look out as a couple more drivers end up getting collected in this. That was the 15 ride of Steven Stefanski. Just a simple mistake, a little too far down low here for Charles Minders, and he's got that Minders Automotive JP Designs ride into the infield tractor tires. And look out, that's a face full of the right rear. That 15 ride of Stefanski. Then you see the 88 ride, unfortunately, going to get tied up into a little contact there with the 38 of Doyle. So Doyle and Ernest both going to get a little tore up there as you see Doyle going around again right there after contact with this 15 ride. Let's see if we can play this back in. Take a look here from his perspective. Let's jump on board here with this 15 ride. See what he can see. All right, there's 66, and oh, there's that right rear right into the helmet of this number 15 ride, man. Nothing that he could really do. Nowhere he could go out there on the racetrack. And for this number 15 ride, Steven Stefanski, really just nowhere for him to go, trying to slide down through corner number 1 and 2, or 3 and 4 here. And man, that is definitely not a sight you want to see out there on the racetrack. Woo, doggy! That's definitely not a spot you want to be out there on the racetrack. Because here we go, getting ready to go back to battle, getting ready to size them up and stack them up, rack them up, and get ready to do this all over again. As it is Jeremy Sexton out in front is my boy Josh Motherfluffin Peacock. What in the world? Mr. Peacock coming in, setting it off here with a 500-star Dono. The big D of the day going to Mr. Peacock here this evening. Says, oh boy, done stepped on it. He says, done stepped on it. Oh yeah, it's an unfortunate break there, but yeah, definitely stepped on it. And for Steven Stefanski, man, getting a face full of that Hoosier, definitely not a spot you want to be. But a shout out to my boy Mr. Peacock. Shout out again to my boy Justin Johnson, both coming in, setting it off here with the donations here this evening. I appreciate that, fellas, coming in, showing the love here today. As Steven Stokes with that heart reaction, Steve Paquette, hopefully I'm saying that right, Steve coming in with that like on the stream as well, and Mama Bear Susie Dickinson coming in as well, showing the love with that heart reaction. What in the world? How are you, Mama Bear? How you doing? Hopefully you're having yourself a wonderful day. As my boy Cody Horton coming in as well. Cody coming in with that like on the stream as well. Says Cody Blix, we didn't know what we had until we had nothing at all. Oh, brother, that's a heartbreaker right there. Don't break my heart like that, Cody's. Here we go. Back to green flag racing. The green flag back out into the air as Jeremy Sexton steps on it, looking at trying to pull away and open up a gap between himself and Jamie Massey. As Massey trying to hold off the hard charge coming from Tyson Pankow. Pankow going to slide back a couple car lengths here from that Lego machine in that second spot, but he tries to reel them in a little bit closer as that Bulletproof Motorsports Dirt Track Junkies number 91 ride rolls there in position number 3. Ryan Howard up and into position number 4 here as he battles to the outside of Tyre Ralph. That's where we see the 20 ride of Philip Sexton up and into position number 6 here for Philip, already moving up 4 spots here on the racetrack as of right now. One of our hard chargers out there on the Speedway. As Hargreaves there in 7th, you see Cody McDonald there in position number 8 as McDonald trying to race his way up and through the traffic here as Jason Calhoun and Douglas Stewart rounding out our top 10. Ethan Bill right in the middle here trying to figure out his way inside the top 10. He's got that 3 ride of Stewart to his outside. Jason Calhoun right there for a little bit down to his inside as all these drivers continue to keep on battling nose to tail out there on the racetrack. Take a look at Jackie Whaley right there in this mix as well as that 47 as Marcos paces their 3 wide down the front straightaway. Hard down into corner number 1. A little bit of battling, a little bit of rubbing and scrubbing there between the 4 of Calhoun and the 28 of McDonald. Both drivers able to keep their cars pointing in the right direction as we keep it clean and green here at Williams Grove Speedway. Whaley right there in 13th, and then we see Matt Fletchel back out there onto the racetrack as well. Good to see Matty back out there onto the speedways. Fletchel rolls there in that 14th position as the 74 rider Tyler Hamrick there in that 15th position. Jim Rivas back in 16th with Brian Wells up 10 spots already here this evening, up 10 positions for that 86 ride. He's now into the 17th position as we see Tyler Ryan, Tim Taylor, Stephen Barreau, and we see James Ellington right there in 21st. Blake Doyle back in 22nd. Cody Ernest there in 23rd. Champ Peterbo back there in position number 24 with Jeremy Akins and a few other drivers tied up there deeper in the field. No caution flag. We keep it clean and green as that's Chris Beaver, Steven Stefanski, and Derek Rice. Looks like Rice, the one driver that may have been a little sideways right there. Let's see if we can take a look back at it as it looks like Beavers and Rice going to end up making some contact out there on the racetrack. No, that is not a Canadian ditch. It's not Beaver Rice out there on the Speedway. It's just Beavers and Rice out there. And unfortunately, there you go. You see the 3 rides in there a little too deep. The 357 gets a piece of them. Then the 15 ride of Steven Stefanski gets in there and cleans out that 357 ride. Nonetheless, we keep it clean and green. We keep on battling. Everyone's still pointed in the right direction. Unfortunately for Derek Rice, he is now at the back of the pack here in that 28th position. And our race leader is not too far off his back bumper, potentially putting him a lap down early in this race. Is already 10 laps down, still 55 laps of racing action left to go here this evening as Jeremy Sexton and Jamie Massey 1 and 2 on the Speedway, and there is our second caution flag. So a lifesaver right there for that number 357 rider Rice as he was so close to going a lap down, but another yellow flag as we take a look back. Looks like just outside of our top 10 as Tyler Hamrick, I do believe, in the 720 Jackie Whaley going to end up getting tied together here. Let's take a look at it, see how this one gets played out as watch this white car right there. All right, so that pink numbered 74 ride looks like he's just going to get in there a little bit deeper than what Jackie Whaley's trying to send it in there. Obviously, track starting to get slick. Drivers start to run different lines, and some drivers back the corner up, try to get better exit. Other drivers drive it in there deep, get a little bit worse of a exit, but nonetheless, 74 gets in there too far. Takes out the 720 ride and gets the 57 of Jim Rivas collected in that one as well. A pair of our DWR rides tied up there. Tore up down into corner number 3 on the Speedway. Let's take another look at it here and see the contact and carnage that's been created out there on the Speedways. These drivers putting on a absolutely amazing show here for us this evening. And yeah, you watch the 74 ride, just sends it in there a little too far, couldn't get checked up quickly enough. Jim Rivas ends up getting into it as well, so pretty good contact there for the 720, 74, and the 57 ride out there on the racetrack. And I do believe Jim Rivas may have ended up getting, no, looks like Tim Taylor able to avoid any additional contact there as everyone's able to snake through there, keep themselves out of carnage, and we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, ready to go back to Green Flag Racing in just a few more moments. As Mama Bear Susie Dickinson says, let's go. Jamie Massey cheered on Massey here this evening. Steve says, let's get it, Wells. Rattle them cages. Keep pushing, he says, cheering on Wells out there on the racetrack. Wells has been moving up, man. He's been looking good back there, that 86 ride. Slowly but surely navigating his way up towards the front of the field. But right now, it's all Jeremy Sexton. Is Sexton ready to rock and roll, ready to go back to Valley? Take a look back. Brian Wells now into about the 16th, 15th position. Looks like 15th spot out there on the racetrack. So it's moved up quite a few positions out there on the racetrack. Has got to be feeling pretty good out there on the Speedways. Here we go down through corner number 4. We will see the green flag fly once again. They're already beating and banging down at a corner number 4 just as that green flag comes back out into the air. Right now, look out! There goes Hargreaves. Another pile up down into corner number 1. Caution flag back out onto the racetrack. Yellow flag back out onto the Speedway here. Cody Ernest, Jason Calhoun, the 71 ride. A Hargreaves side up in that one. Tyler Hamrick in there as well. As let's take a look back and see what brings out our third caution flag, as cautions breeding cautions out there on the racetrack. And unfortunately this time for William Hargreaves, restarts here in that 6th position. Was having himself a great day here at the Speedway. He's trying to keep himself right on the back bumper of that 2 right of Tyrell. Unfortunately, he tries to back up the corner there, and it looks like the 28 ride gets into the back end of the 71, and then as he's trying to get checked up, there's a couple more drivers that are driving into the back end of the 28 ride, and it just kind of creates this long jam right here. So watch the 28. He sees he's about to hit the 71, kind of gets checked up. 4 ride does not notice that. He drives even deeper underneath the 28 ride. All that contact, all that power and speed down into corner number 1. Unfortunately, just loops the 71 rider around as he's just kind of jacked up. Same with the 28 ride. And then we're going to see a few other drivers end up driving in here. Cody Ernest, he just ends up on the high side right there, ends up getting a piece of that, getting a pretty good piece of contact, and tore up there ever so slightly, but nonetheless, everyone able to keep themselves rolling out there. Doesn't look like too much damage that none of these drivers will be able to continue to keep on battling here. Let's see if we can jump on board with this number 4 ride. This is Jason Calhoun as we get going back to green flag racing. He's already struggling out of corner number 4, just getting his foot into the throttle. Sends it in here deep, and unfortunately just a little too deep, and helps 28 take out the 71 ride, and then they get slammed into right there by the 88 ride, and they're staying tied together here, and they'll all have to get pointed back in the right direction. Everyone will have to figure out where they need to be to get this thing going again, as we'll get them all ready to rock and roll, ready to go back to battle. As Plateford Cheats, what's good, Plateford Cheats coming in, showing the love, dropping that like on the stream. And Mama Bear Susie Dickinson says, let's go. Matt Fletchell cheering on Maddie out there on the Speedway is good as well. It's good to see Fletchell back out there, man. It seems like it's been a while since we've seen Matt Fletchell out there on the racetrack, so good to see him up there. And right now he's inside the top 10, so having himself a pretty solid day here in these Dirt Street Stocks once again for that 26 ride. Is that Mud Missile Industries Fusion Setup Shop. Number 26 ride going to look to try to get himself up to the front of the field, and we'll have to wait and see what the officials try to call here. Are we going to go double file again, or are we going to keep them single file here for this restart? looks like lights are off. The official iRacing page truck looks like we are going single file here for this restart. So that's a great break for our race leader, as Jeremy Sexton does not want to see that 6 ride down to his inside or up on his outside and potentially getting a run to get around him here. But now he does have to worry about him being right on his back bumper. So if you're our race leader, you got to get a big jump. You got to get a great launch here. Keep that 6 ride back there behind you. Give yourself a couple car lengths down to the corner number 1 where you know you're pretty safe from a big slide job or potential contact, and just keeping yourself out of trouble there on the speedway. And that's exactly what the 2020 ride's gonna be looking to do. As here we go back to green flag racing as the 2020 ride gets a good jump that he was looking for. Massey tried to go right there with him, tried to time it right and had to roll out of the throttle. Did not want to wreck our race leader and able to open up a bit of a lead there for Jeremy Sexton as he'll take us back down and out of corner number 2. Down the back straightaway here into corner number 3 is only 12 laps completed here this evening. Still a lot of racing left to go here from Williams Grove, as these drivers, they know that this is a fairly long race. When we start to look at lap times, this is probably the longest, one of the longest racetracks here on the simulator when it comes to the dirt side of racing action. So it takes a little while. It is a long track, it's very bumpy, and it can get very tedious after a little while. So you got to be very, very cautious. You got to keep your eye on the prize, got to keep your mind in the game out there on the racetrack. One simple slip up, one mistake out there, and you could be pointing in the wrong direction in a quick hurry. You could find yourself into one of those tire barriers, or you can find yourself into an inside or outside wall, and you just got to be very, very cautious. This track can tear up a lot of cars in a quick hurry as Jeremy Sexton continues to lead the way. Massey right there in second, trying to put the pressure there to his back bumper. Tyrell back up into third here as he works to the inside here with Tyson Pankow. Pankow keeps rolling that outside lane as we do see him there in fourth. Philip Sexton now up and into fifth as we see Mr. Ryan Howard there in sixth. Douglas Stewart up and into seventh now as Marco's Pace. Matt Fletchel there in ninth. Ethan Bill rounding out our top 10. Jim Rivas back in 11th with Brian Wells now up into the 12th position here on the racetrack. Heck of a run so far for that 86 ride as he's now into the 12th spot here on the speedway, up 15 positions from where he started as Tyler Ryan right there behind him in that 13th spot. Tim Taylor there in 14th. Blake Doyle rounding at our top 15 as he's up 15 spots from where he was supposed to start here this evening as he does go around Tim Taylor right there. They're door to door down into corner number 3. Tim the Toolman Taylor in that TNT Racing ride up on the high side, trying to keep that 38 right up. Blake Doyle back there at bay. Doyle gets a little contact there with them. They bounce off each other a couple times. It opens up the door for the other TNT Racing ride, the 45, Stephen Burrow. Is Burrow right there, ready to poke his nose underneath his team leader there, Tim Taylor, looking to try to take over that 15th position on the racetrack. But the TNT Racing guys, they'll battle now for that 15th position as Chad Puterbow, Jackie Whaley, James Ellington right there behind him, Tyler Hamrick rounding out our top 20 as Hargreaves back there in 21st. Derek Rice, Jason Calhoun, Steven Stefanski, Jeremy Akins, Cody McDonald, Chris Beavers, and Cody Ernest bringing up the rear of the field out there on the racetrack as Ernest up into the outside fence, trying to keep that car just pointed the right direction there. May have had damage from earlier on in one of those accidents. Hopefully he's got that car repaired as he keeps on battling back there deeper in the field. The battles at the front of the field continue to heat up as our top 5 start to separate themselves from the rest of the field here. Pankow rounding up this lead pack right now, kind of split up a little bit out there on the speedway, and for Pankow, he's got a sizable gap here between himself and Marco's Pace, about 1.6 seconds between 5th and 6th out there on the racetrack, and Marco's Pace trying to work his Cocky Floyd Consulting Doghouse Racing, number 47, right up towards the front of the field here in this one as Stewart right behind him, Fletchel there in 8th. Good to see Fletchel, as I said, back out there on the racetrack. We haven't seen him out there in many of these races, and here he is driving his way up inside the top 10 and looking for more out there on the speedway. As that's that 4X rider Ryan Howard right behind him. Jim Rivas now inside the top 10 as he's able to work his way into that 10th position. Brian Wells right behind him. Wells looking to navigate his way inside the top 10 here, keep his amazing run alive here this evening as he rolls back in the 11th position. But out in front, it's all Jeremy Sexton as Sexton continues to lead the way. Jeremy out in front, showing these drivers that he is the guy to be, as Bang Bang Boom says That's a ban. Leader looks nervous. Watch this fool step on his pee-pee. Oh, no. Oh, no. Jeremy, don't step on it. Don't step on it. Massey's right there, though. Massey's all over his back bumper, though, looking to try to take over that top spot as, and definitely a good couple drivers out there, man. That's going to be a lot of fun to see who's going to be able to get it. Infinite Sam also coming in, says, get it. I qualify every week, but can't seem to make the show. How do you not have more views? Best broadcast I've seen in a while. Listen, brother, I have no idea. I have no idea either, man. I have no idea. It's just iRacing suppresses me, or YouTube, Facebook. I don't know what it is, but yeah, for some reason, views should be way up, man. I don't know what it is, but nonetheless, we just keep on plugging along. We keep doing what we gotta do. We keep on putting together some great racing action as these drivers continue to keep on battling out there on the Speedway, as 25 laps into this race here after the pass across the start-finish line here, so 25 laps down, still 40 laps left to go. There is still a ton of time out here on the Speedway. If you got off to a slow start, if you haven't been able to navigate your way throughout the field, you got to be hoping that you got something left in the tank here late in this race, as we do see one driver up in corner number 3 and 4, stop there on the outside of the corner here, and that will bring the caution flag out. It looks like Steven Stefanski going to run into some issues here again. Steven's been having a bit of a rough go, and now the tore up right front, and looks like he's taking that car down pit side off the racetrack, but not before the caution flag gets thrown. Let's take a look back here. Stevens Knight has been going backwards all evening long, hasn't had any luck, and right there's the contact between him and the 88 ride, and really not a lot that Steven Stefanski could have done right there. Shoved up into that outside fence. This is a dangerous spot on the racetrack here. We've seen so many cars get tore up here. That little bit of a track opening down the back straightaway right here. If you get side by side or you make contact there with that wall, it can absolutely just shear that car apart. And unfortunately, right there, you see that right front just weeble wobbling right there. It is absolutely busted apart. No upper, lower tie rods, no drive there, and unfortunately, no turn out of that car. And it's going to pull them straight up into the outside fence. And unfortunately, that's where that car is going to come to a rest, and that's where he will tow it back down pit lane. And that looks like it may be the night there for the 15 ride. Heartbreaker there for him, but nonetheless, we'll keep on grinding, and that brings all these drivers right back together, and that just creates more chaos out there on the racetrack, as a little bit of beating and banging, a little bit of rubbing and scrumping here on these restarts is always an option, and that's where we see cautions breeding cautions, as Bing Bang Boom says, love your broadcast though, Peacemaker. I appreciate that, brother. I appreciate that, my boy. Show the love here in this one. As Vicky Schuller, Mama Schuller says, and you do a great job. I appreciate that, Mama Schuller, coming in, showing the love here this evening. As says, I read that this league was clean and caution free, but that doesn't seem to be the case. Laugh aloud. Sometimes it's a little bit of back and forth. It's a little back and forth. There's days where it's really good. We may only have, 1 or 2 caution flags, but I mean, that's racing. Cautions, I mean, they're called accidents for a reason. Accidents happen out there on the racetrack, happens in the highest levels of motorsports, whether it's NASCAR or it's World of Outlaws or your local dirt track, man. Accidents happen. That's why they call them accidents. You can never plan for them, and all you got to do is just own up to those issues, own up to the problems that you may cause out there on the racetrack, and take your lashings and move on and keep your head on your shoulders and keep on racing hard week after week after week. And you get penalized, you just deal with the penalties. That's part of life, man. That's part of life. As here we go, back to green flag racing, as the 2020 of Jeremy Sexton sees that green flag fly once again. He's looking to try to keep that 6 ride back there at bay, but Massey sticking right there with them. And here we go, cautions breeding cautions, as Derek Rice gonna run into some more issues deeper in the field here. 357 ride turned around, tore up again, and we will see the caution flag fly here again this evening, as that's what we talked about, man. Cautions breeding cautions out there on the Speedway. A lot of these yellows deeper in the field here as well, so a lot of these drivers just trying to get their footing, trying to figure out what they need to do here. And unfortunately, deeper in the pack, we see a couple of drivers get tied together. One driver has to get checked up, and the driver behind him just does not see it. So you see the 33 ride do believe the 33 is James Ellington. So watch Ellington here. He kind of gets into the back end of the 71 ride of Hargreaves right here. So he's trying to check up here, trying to keep himself out of trouble, not wanting to spin out that 71 ride. And it kind of just gets his cornering a little wrong here. Gets sideways, has to get checked up to avoid running over the 71. So the 28, the 4 ride, they kind of get a little contact into him. 28's trying to get checked up. Unfortunately, 357, not expecting it, not expecting those guys to be checked up as much as they were. Drives in there, stabs the brakes, spins that car around, and that's what puts us back under the caution flag. So another quick yellow flag, a little bit of beating and banging, and that's to be expected at a racetrack here like Williams Grove. That's kind of like a regular caution flag here. It's not very often that we don't see wrecks of that caliber, of that issue. You tend to have drivers that run a racetrack when it gets this slick, when it gets, that dangerous out there. It's like racing on marbles. It's like racing on ice. One driver will back the corner up, try to get a slower entry to try to get a better drive off, and then drivers back behind them sometimes try to drive it in there deeper where they can get a little bit more speed into the corner, but then they don't get as much speed on the exit of the corner. So it's kind of just two different driving styles. And when you have an open session, you get a lot of different drivers that kind of don't know how each other races. You don't really know what to expect from the car in front of you or the car behind you. And that's where we run into those problems. The drivers just rolling over top of one another. But here we go. We're going to get ready to keep on going, get ready to go back to battle here in this one as Jeremy Sexton hanging on here at the front of the field. Massey there in second. Ty Ralph right there in third. Ready to bounce is Philip Sexton, Tyson Pankow, Marcos Pace, Douglas Stewart, Matt Fletchel, Ryan Howard, and Jim Rivas. Our top 10 getting ready to go back to green flag racing. Is nice and easy down out of corner number 4. The green flag back out into the air there for the number 2020 rider Jeremy Sexton. So Sexton out in front looking to try to run away with this one as he trying to keep himself pointed in the right direction and trying to put himself into a good position out there on the speedways. Each and every one of these drivers trying to battle up to the front here, and this is where we get to the point here where we're about to get towards that halfway marker here. We're about to be halfway in, halfway to go here throughout this race, and if you're one of those drivers a little deeper in the field, what do you do out there on the speedway? Do you try to save a little bit of tire? Have you been saving tire? What do you have left in the tank here? If you're someone that's been hanging out a little deeper in the field, when we look back there and we see a driver like Blake Doyle or Tyler Ryan who really haven't moved forward too far here this evening, even drivers they had tied up in issues earlier on like William Hargreaves or Tyler Hamrick, do you save tires? Do you have something left in the tank for later in this race where you can try to navigate your way through the traffic and back up towards the front here for the end of this thing? Maybe have a little bit better tire than our race leaders, be able to have that extra little bit of grip, that extra little bit of speed to try to put yourself up and into victory lane. As Hamrick trying to navigate his way back up through the field here, up into the 18th position, as Whaley right there behind him, Cody McDonald, Jason Calhoun there, bouncing it off the outside fence. He's got Chris Beavers, Jeremy Akins, Cody Ernest right there door to door as Ernest blinking a little bit as Derek Wright's back in 25th. Ellington back there in that 26th position trying to rebound from that last caution flag. Looks like he took the EOL there. Probably felt like he was reason for that yellow flag. So taking the good move there, taking the EOL, doesn't want to serve any additional penalties, and taking his lashes out there on the racetrack, goes to the back of the pack as he'll look to try to navigate his way back up through the field. As look out, we got a battle here for second on the racetrack. Look out, here comes that number 2 rider, Ty Ralph. Ralph looking to make his move around that 6th rider, Jamie Massey. Massey looking to try to hang on the race lead, or on to second here, wanting to make sure that he's within striking distance of this race lead, but Ty Ralph, he's been on the back bumper of that 6th ride, the Lego machine. They're in position number 2, and we see a little bit more contact deeper in the field, and the caution flag will come back out as the TNT Racing number 45 ride. Stephen Moreau gonna go for a little bit of a spill back here, and we see a few more drivers tied up as well, so a couple different caution flags out there on the racetrack. Let's take a look at it here as Stephen in the 45 ride working the outside lane. See Jackie Whaley down low right there, and it looks like potentially just, it looks like the 45 maybe a little loose on corner exit right there. Jackie Whaley down low, really nowhere for him to go. Just try to exit the corner here nice and easily, but the 45 just up a little too high, maybe back on the throttle a little bit too much, and you see this car just kind of, I think he's trying to pull a crossover maybe on the 74 ride. I don't think he realized the 720 was down low. I don't think the 720 realized that the 45 was trying to come down to the inside. Nonetheless, they make contact. They both end up hard contact into that inside fence, and then virtually at the same time that this was happening, we saw Philip Sexton and Marcos Pace here, a pair of Doghouse Racing Gonky Floyd Consulting, Sexton Paint and Body teammates out there on the Speedway. They're going to end up running into each other right here as well. So Philip in that 20 ride, the 47, that's Marco's pace. Marco sends it into the corner a little deeper here, trying to clear the back bumper of the 20 ride. Unfortunately, gets into him there, hooks that left rear quarter panel and just loops that 20 ride around. And then you see Pankow. Pankow's just really got nowhere to go right there as the 47 trying to roll out of the throttle, trying to keep himself out of the carnage here. And unfortunately, not a whole lot of spots or a whole lot of room for him to go there, and that's just going to turn around both the 20 ride and the 47. So a couple issues here on the racetrack and a couple issues to bring out a caution flag, and we'll hopefully get that cleaned up and get everyone ready to rock and roll. As we do see Massey down pit road, so Jamie Massey takes his number 6 ride down pit side. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is a big, big break right here as man, Jamie Massey down pit side. Brandon, brother, I may take you up on that one. I may join you on that one, actually. I don't think I'm going to bet you that Jeremy wins this or not. I don't know. Tyrell is going to give him a run for his money there, but that is a big, big break for Jeremy Sexton, having Jamie Massey no longer back there on his back bumper and out of the way here this evening really opens up the door for him to try to run away with this race, but we're just over halfway through this one, man. 32 laps completed here this evening, and we get ready to go back to green flag racing. Tyrell now to the outside of that 2020 ride as the Mad Dog sees that green flag fly. We're back underway here at Williams Grove Speedway. A great restart there for Jeremy Sexton as he'll lead us back down into corner number 1 as the 91 of Tyson Pankow right there ready to pounce, and so isn't Matt Fletchell. Look out as here comes Fletchell, here comes Jim Rivas, the old man, the grumpy graphics ride himself right there in position number 4 and looking for more as he leans on the 26. They're side by side, and here comes Tyler Ryan. Tyler Ryan right there into the mix as well as Tyler strolls down to the inside here, starting to make his way up towards the front of the field. These are a couple drivers we talked about potentially having tires saved here. Maybe saving a little bit earlier on in this race. They fell backwards. They really weren't moving too far forward, and now look out. Oh, baby, Matt Fletchell. I don't know how Fletchell hasn't went around right there. Gets shoved up into the outside fence. Somehow or another, we keep it clean and green, but Fletchell falls all the way back into the 12th position. Heartbreak right there for Fletchell as you do see Tyler Ryan now inside the top 5. Brian Wells right there as well as Blake Doyle as these drivers that were deeper in the field potentially saving a little bit of tire, try to navigate their way back up through the traffic here, really starting to make some dividends out there on the Speedway. You see Hargreaves back up inside the top 10 as well as Tim Taylor now on the racetrack as well into that 10th position, and a caution flag will fly. So the caution flag will come back out here in this one. Let's take a look back and see what happens. It looks like Cody Ernest going to run into some problems here. Let's take a look at Cody Ernest. He's a little deeper in the field. He's got Jackie. Oh, that's a big hit right there for Cody. Big hit for the 357. You see Ellington going around. Stephen Barreau getting tied up in that one, and that is definitely going to bring out the yellow flag right there. As let's take this back. It looks like the 88 right here of Cody Ernest. He's going to get up into that gap here. That wall opening right here. Watch him come into the corner, and right there, bam. Knocks that right rear right into that opening, and all of a sudden that just loops that car around. Tons of damage here for him, and all of a sudden nowhere to go for the Sexton Paint and Body 357 right at Derek Rice. Nowhere to go for a couple of these other drivers that end up getting tied up into it, getting tore up into it. A big loop-de-loop there for that 88 ride. Definitely not the fun that he was looking for here this evening. Obviously, you see Ellington pointing the wrong direction there as well after getting tied up in that one going around. He has a little bit more contact and damage into that as well, but nonetheless, all these drivers will get ready to be set loose. Hopefully they got some stuff figured out and able to keep on battling here, as Jamie Massey says, leading the points in another league and championship night. Too many cautions. I had to make sure I made it. Hey, brother. I don't blame you on that one, Massey. I don't blame you on that one at all. Good to see you, though, in the chat giving us the update. So we did see Jamie Massey take his car off the racetrack and out of this race, and there we go. That's why we see Massey leave this race, leading the points in another league. Does not want to miss out on trying to win that championship, and with too many cautions here this evening, obviously not going to risk it and potentially be late to the show for the other league and miss out on his opportunity to put another championship under his belt, as we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, ready to go back to Green Flag Racing. As Just Fib says, look at old Jim work his magic. Yeah, Jim Reeve is right up there into the mix this evening as well. Good to see Jim having a great run as he'll get ready to restart in position number 4 as Philip Sexton, Jeremy Sexton, actually it's Jeremy Sexton out in front. I'm not sure why it was showing Philip Sexton up there, but nonetheless, Philip will go to the back of the pack, and here we go, back to Green Flag Racing for Jeremy Sexton as Jeremy sees that green flag fly once again. Another great restart for him in there once again, starting to get a little slideways back there behind him. My gosh, that was a close call right there for Tyson Pankow. Somehow or another, Pankow keeps it in the right direction, but now we see another driver hit that opening. Look out, that 4 right. Oh, baby, they're stacked up on the outside lane again. Hargreaves tied up, and a few more drivers in there as well, in the caution flag will come back out. Hargreaves was navigating his way back up through the field here, and unfortunately tied up in another issue out there on the racetrack, and it looks like it really starts here with this 4X machine. So let's take a look back here and see what happens. I do believe Ryan Howard going to end up into that backstretch opening here, the same as we saw Cody Ernest, as they are 3-4 wide coming out of corner number 2 here, and it just kind of doesn't work out. They kind of run out of room, and right there you see that 4 right kind of bounces off of the 47 of Tyler Ryan right there ever so slightly, and it just kind of navigates that rear end down and just up and into that gap right there. Right rears it, spins that car around. Blake Doyle, Wells, a lot of these drivers nowhere to go, just trying to avoid them right here. As there we go, there's that contact, then into the wall right there. Look at Blake Doyle, nowhere he can go. Wells quickly moving down to the inside, trying to keep himself out of it. Does get a little bit of contact in there, not once but twice, and then shoved down into the inside fence there as well. So some pretty good damage for Wells. And you look at Hargreaves right here. Hargreaves nowhere to go. He ends up getting slammed into it. The 74 right of Hamrick, he's tied up in it. Chad Puderbo right in the middle of 71 and 4 sandwich out there on the racetrack, as the other 4, Calhoun slides in there, Beaver slides into it, getting some damage as well, and a bunch of tore up race cars here once again. And as we continue to tear these race cars up, we're going to continue to see more and more drivers potentially out of this race as they start to run out of quick repairs. They start to run out of ways to keep themselves pointing in the right direction, keep these cars rolling and still working condition out there on the racetrack. We're going to see them quickly starting to drop like flies out there on the racetrack, as we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, ready to go back to Green Flag Racing here in this one, as Bing Bang Boom says, let's go Ty. Cheered on Ty out there on the racetrack, as Vicky Schuller says, my lord, go Jim, go. Cheered on Jim out there on the Speedway, says keep rolling Chad. DWR cheering on all the DWR rides, as Bing Bang Boom says, rolling one up for you, Peace, taking one of them drink breaks like you take. Yeah, you always got to take one of them drink breaks out there, and we'll have one here shortly at some point in time, but we'll see if we can get some good green flag laps under our belt. As here we go back to Green Flag Racing, as Jeremy Sexton out in front, looking to try to open up that race lead once again. That was probably the best restart he has gotten so far here this evening. Quickly opens up about 5/10, 6/10 of a lead between himself and Ty Ralph, as Ralph rolls there in position number 2 with Tyson Pankow back there in third. As oh baby, there we go, more contact, more chaos down and out of corner number 4. Caution flag back out on the Speedway. Caution flag is back out here, as more issues there on the corner number 3 and out of corner number 4 here, as man, oh man, things are just heating up, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. Contact between Wells and the 38 ride as they kind of get tied together. Unfortunately, kind of just stacks up a lot of these drivers as they're leaning on each other down here into corner number 3. My gosh, they are not going to back down from one another, as Blake Doyle trying to hold off this 86 ride of Wells, and Wells trying to steal that spot away from him. And here we go down to the inside, and they're just going to drive right into each other right there. Heavy contact, heavy damage for both cats, as their cocky Floyd Consulting Rides trying to navigate their way down through corner number 3. Unfortunately for the 38, a little bit more sideways on the racetrack, and as that car's going around, here comes Tyler Hamrick. Hamrick, he drives in there, gets a big piece of the 38. Ryan 28, Cody McDonald, nowhere to go. He ends up getting a big piece of him there as well, and it shoves this 38 right up the racetrack, and look at that hit up into the outside fence. That was a big hit there for the 38 ride. You see Whaley and the 4, they get tied together trying to avoid the carnage. You see the 7 ride of Jeremy Aikens in the slinganddirt.com ride. He slides in there trying to avoid contacts in with the 33 of Ellington. Oh man, so many drivers just trying to keep themselves out of trouble here this evening, and it seems like for a lot of them, their cars are magnets out there on the racetrack, and they are creating a lot of carnage out there on the Speedway. Let's see if we can take a look at Tyler Hamrick. Here's Hamrick just sent it in there trying to keep himself out of it, trying to keep that car clean, and all of a sudden, bam, kind of right in the middle of a sandwich, that damage, and getting back onto the throttle, spins that 47 right around, and honestly pointed the wrong direction there, and it looks like he may have even taken his car right down pit side. So a heartbreaker there for Tyler Hamrick as he has taken that car off the racetrack, and it does look like we're missing quite a few drivers here. A lot of drivers now down and off the racetrack out there on the Speedway. So we started with, what, 29 drivers? I think we got about 19 still rolling out there on the Speedway. And that's what we're talking about. The more and more issues we have, the more and more these drivers continue to keep on getting tied up and tore up. And unfortunately, it's just bringing things a little bit crazier out there on the racetrack. As BBB says, I think it says Cocky Floyd on their cars, but seems like they've been in every wreck. Definitely seems like they've been in a lot of wrecks through this evening. There's a lot of cars that have been in a lot of these wrecks. There's not a lot of single car issues out there, but definitely a lot of problems for a lot of these drivers. We've seen the TNT Racing guys get tore up in them. Obviously, when there's so many of these Cocky Floyd Consulting rides out there, obviously it's going to make sense that a lot of them are going to get tied up in it. As we take a look at Ty Ralph, he's got his TNT ride still up there. Pancow and the Dirt Track Junkies Bulletproof Motorsports ride still up there. But we've seen the DWR cars get tied into some of these wrecks. We've seen a lot of these drivers kind of just get tore up in it. Enough where Jason Calhoun, this car still has quite a bit of damage on it. He rolls right now in that 9th position, but on the restart, pushes up the racetrack, allows that 47 of Marco's pace down to his inside, looking to try to navigate his way back up towards the front of the field. That's out in front, just keeping yourself out of trouble, keeping your car pointed in the right direction. Seems like that may be the winning move here this evening as the 2020 ride of Jeremy Sexton out in front. Tyrell, though, right there on his back bumper. Tyson Pankow, does he have something left in the tank? Can he jump up there and make some moves as Jim Rivas rolls there in position number 4? And look out, look who's back inside the top 5. It's William Hargreaves. Hargreaves in the DWR Dirt Panda number 71 ride. Back up inside the top 5 here after getting tied up, tore up early on in this race. He's been slowly but surely navigating his way back up towards the front here. Does he got something left in the tank here? He's been very, very good in the past at Williams Grove Speedway. Does he have a little bit of something up his sleeve for late in this race? Is down across the line. We will complete lap number 40 here today. So 40 laps done and over with here at Williams Grove Speedway. We still got 25 more laps of racing action left to go here this evening. So 25 more laps for these drivers to duke it out, to go to battle and to try to put themselves up and into victory lane. And as we talked about it, this track, it seems like it gets longer and longer and longer. Lap after lap after lap is now running more towards the 25-second bracket for a lot of these drivers, and a lot of these guys struggling out there on the Speedway, not only with the tire fall off, but now with how slick this racetrack is and for how damaged their race cars may be out there on the Speedway. Everyone's just trying to hang on and keep their cars rolling here towards the front of the field. As Sexton clicks off another lap here, 42 laps down, 23 more laps left to go, and we will jump into our Peacemaker Gaming Crank It Up. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, jump into the comment section right now. Let us know who you're cheering for. Let us know who you think picks up the checkered flag here this evening, as that will end lap number 43 out there on the Speedway. 22 more laps left to go, and we'll crank it up here on Peacemaker Gaming. So crank up that volume and cheer on your favorite drivers as we crank it up here this evening with the Circle Track Showdown. Never mind, there is the Peacemaker Gaming cranking up caution flag. Cranking up caution flag will come out. We got a great look at it right there as we saw the drivers tied up into it. Looked like William Hargreaves, and I do believe it was the 47 of Marco's Pace. We're going to get tied together right here. Looked like Marco's maybe sent it in a little bit too deep right there. Got a piece of this number 71. Right, let's take a look back at it. As here they come down the front straightaway, down into corner number 1. Hargreaves trying to back up the corner. 47 sends it in there a little bit deeper, ends up getting in there too far. Makes contact with the 71 right, and for William Hargreaves, that's just going to knock that rear end loose. No traction out there, spins it sideways. Look at Tyler Ryan trying to get through there. Unfortunately, Tyler couldn't really avoid any of that issue. Gets a good piece of that 47 Ryan. Pretty solid contact there for him, and then everyone else trying to keep themselves out of it. Here comes that 26 right, a Matt Fletchel just could not get checked up in time. Gets underneath that 47 right. Some pretty solid front end damage there for the 26 machine. And nonetheless, that will bring the caution flag back out. So another big restart and another opportunity for drivers to try to navigate their way towards the front of the field as Jeremy Sexton. I don't think Sexton wants to see all these caution flags. He wants to see this one stay clean and green and try to keep all these drivers back there at bay. But for the most part, he's been just standing on business here at the front of the field here as that Doghouse chassis. Donkey Floyd Consulting number 2020 right at the front of the field here, trying to keep all these drivers back there at bay and going to get ready for another big restart. Here is Ty Ralph, the 91 right of Tyson Pankow, Jim Revis, Tyler Ryan, our top 5 out there on the racetrack with Tim Taylor back in 6th, Matt Fletchel in 7th, Jackie Whaley, Jason Calhoun, and Jeremy Aikens rounding out our top 10. Philip Sexton back at 11th, James Ellington, Derek Rice, Ryan Howard, Blake Doyle, Chad Puterbo, Stephen Burrow, William Hargreaves and Marco's Pace now bringing up the rear of the field out there on the speedways. I do believe we are down to about 19 drivers left in this race, so about 19 drivers left to duke it out here this evening as we'll get them all ready to rumble once again, and we'll get ready to go back to the Peacemaker Gaming, crank it up. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, once again, crank up that volume, cheer on your favorite driver as we get ready to go back to Green Flag Racing here at Williams Grove Speedway. Caution, back it on the racetrack. Yellow flag here again on the speedway. We did see a couple issues out there for a few of these drivers. Let's take a look back and see what brings this yellow flag out. As contact here, the 4 right of Calhoun gets into the 357 right. That gets him sideways. Blake Doyle trying to check up, and unfortunately they all kind of just run out of room down on the bottom side of the racetrack. It all starts with that car up in front. Watch the 4 right, the VP Racing Ryan. He's already leaning on that 357 right of Derek Rice right here. Gets into the door of him. Starts to slip that car sideways. Blake Doyle sees it. He's trying to check up, not wanting to run into him as that 4 right probably going to go around no matter what right there. Unfortunately, they just kind of run out of room, and then obviously Hargreaves not realizing it. He gets a piece of it. You see Marco's Pace in there, the 20 right of Chad Puderbo trying to get checked up, trying to keep himself out of it. Unfortunately for a lot of these drivers, just tore up down here on the bottom side of corner number 1 and 2, and that will put us back under the yellow flag once again. So we'll get ready for another restart here. 49 laps completed here this evening. 49 laps down. Actually, it's technically 48 laps down as the caution flag came out there on completing lap 48. So when we go back to green flag racing, should start lap 49 here this evening. So, man, a lot of caution flags, a lot of issues, a lot of tore up race cars, a lot of beaten up sheet metal out there on the racetrack. And now we'll get ready to try to set them back loose, try to go back to green flag racing out there on the speedway. Who's going to be able to keep themselves out of trouble here and still at the front of the field late in this race to potentially pick up this checkered flag? Is Ricky Russell. What's good, Ricky? Ricky coming in with the like and the follow over there on Facebook. I appreciate that, Ricky, showing the love here this evening. As you do see, Marco's Pace does get the wave around there. Lucky dog. He will get a lap back. I do believe that is either going to put him back on the lead lap or potentially still a lap down here this evening, but the lights are off. The official iRacing pace car, and now for Jeremy Sexton, he's got a new challenger on his back bumper. It's Tyson Pankow. Pankow in position number 2, looking to try to jump up and take that race lead. You'll have Jim Rivas there to his back bumper with Tim Taylor. Timmy having himself a hell of a day up inside the top 4 here this evening. Tyrell back into that 5th position. Let's see if we can jump on board here with Tyrell for this restart as we get ready to go back to battle. The official iRacing pace truck will make that hard left-hand turn back down pit side, and we'll go back to our Peacemaker Gaming. Crank it up. Well, caution flag going to come right back out here. The cautions breeding cautions, and the Peacemaker Gaming Crank It Up caution is alive and well here this evening. As let's take a look back and see what happens. Jackie Whaley down on the bottom side here. Let's take a look and see what happens as Whaley a little bit farther forward here on the racetrack down into corner number 1. Looks like Tyler Ryan going to get in there and just gets a piece of him. Trying to sneak to the outside of the 720 Ryan. No gap there. Unfortunately gets into Jackie. Spins him sideways. Aikens gets turned around. The 4 rider Calhoun gets a big piece of the 720 Ryan. And that's what will put us back under the yellow flag. So some contact here between the 47 and the 720 Ryan as Whaley and Ryan get tied together here on corner entry as we just went back to green flag racing and quickly right back under the caution flag as you see that 720 slideways there on the racetrack, bounce off the 7 right, and then nowhere to go for the Hoosier 4 machinist. Calhoun gets a piece of them there, and that's what will put us back under the yellow flag here this evening. So another caution flag and another restart here on the horizon for these drivers to try to keep themselves out of trouble or to keep on battling towards the front of the field here. I think we're down quite a few drivers now. There is not a lot of cats left out there still battling here this evening with Jackie Whaley now down pit side. Looks like we're down to about 17 drivers still rolling on the racetrack. I do believe Marcos Pace, Stephen Burrow. Actually, it looks like Stevens now down and out of this race as well. So it looks like we got about 16 drivers left racing here this evening. So we're getting down to the nitty-gritty here. We've lost about half of this race field here this evening, and we still got a lot of laps left to go. Still a lot of racing left to be done here this evening, and it's going to be interesting to see who can put themselves up and into victory lane as we'll get ready to go back to green flag racing here in just a couple more moments. Man, is this going to be a lot of fun. This is going to be interesting to see who's going to be able to put themselves into the right position at the right time to try to pick up the dub here this evening. Can Jeremy Sexton hold them all off and finish this one off at the front of the field, or do we see, you know what, what's going to happen here in this one is here we go back to green flag racing here this evening as quickly the 2020 rider Jeremy Sexton sees that green flag fly once again. This time we'll take it a little bit easy. We'll take a look and see if we can make it through 1 and 2 and maybe make a lap or 2 out there on the racetrack before we go back into our crank it up. And it looks like this time we are clean and green down through corner corner number 1 and 2, and looks like down into 3. Everyone, for the most part, able to keep their cars pointing the right direction. I may have spoken too soon, but look out as the 20 right of Philip Sexton works his way around DWRL for position number 5. As we will continue our quick Peacemaker Gaming cranking up here before our final 15 laps, 10 laps of this race when we go back to battle here this evening. So we'll crank it up here real quick, get a quick bathroom break in, and then we'll keep on battling. Alrighty, is the caution flag back out here in this one. That will bring a close to our Peacemaker Gaming crank it up as we'll take a look back and see what brings out yet again another caution flag here. I'm not sure what number we're on, but it's gotta be quite a few yellow flags, and it looks like this time Matt Fletchell nowhere to go there. 3 wide back here, still battling. This is just inside our top 10 and kind of stuck in the middle of 3 wide, kind of gets bounced around on quarter entry, tries to get checked up, tries to keep that car pointing the right direction until the 47. Oh man, Ryan just gets in there a little too far. Obviously not expecting these guys to check up that much, but for Fletchell, he does the right thing here, trying to get that car just kind of down and out of the way, trying to keep it just rolling in the right direction until 47 rolls in there a little too far, gets a piece of him, knocks that rear end loose, and spins the 26 right around. That's what will put us back under the caution flag here this evening. And for the Fusion Setup Shop Mud Missile Machine, you look to try to battle back and try to drive his way back up through the field here, as this field definitely getting thinner and thinner and thinner as we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, ready to go back to green flag racing. It is Jeremy Sexton still holds on to this race lead. Sexton out in front. Tyson Pankow there in position number 2. Does Pankow have enough left in the tank here to maybe make a move? Can he find a run to try to steal this win away from that 2020 ride? As Pankow has been right there in that second spot and having himself a wonderful race so far here this evening. Can he finish it off with potentially the race win? Jim Rivas right there as well. What it would mean for Jim to get that DWR iRacing iFlag JRE machine back up into victory lane here this season. It would be a absolutely amazing race if we could see Jim get back up there, pick up another win here this evening, as him and the admin crew definitely going to have a lot to look over here this evening. He'll be a busy guy all night long and probably for the rest of this week trying to figure out calls and trying to make calls there with the rest of the DWR Racing League crew, and trying to figure out where, whose fault and who doesn't claim or does claim cautions or anything else. And look at Tim Taylor up there as well. Hopefully we can see Timmy get a good solid finish here as well, man. He's been a long-time driver, man. He's been looking to have a good run here in this series. It'd be awesome to see if Tim can finish this one off, get himself a solid top 5 or top 3 run here this evening. As here we go, back to green flag racing as Jeremy Sexton sees that green flag fly. So Sexton quickly back onto the lap pedal, looking to try to keep all these drivers back there at bay. As we get 9 more laps left to go, we inch closer and closer to the checkered flag. Still 9 laps is a long time around this Williams Grove Speedway. A lot of areas for drivers to run into issues. A lot of drivers can still try to navigate their way back up towards the front. A lot of drivers could fall backwards, so we'll have to keep a close eye on it. As look out, tight racing there at corner number 4 is all over the back bumper there of Tim Taylor. The 20 right of Philip Sexton. I'm a little bit sideways right there. Luckily enough, everyone able to keep their cars pointed the right direction. As look out, Ryan Howard way up the racetrack up against that outside fence. We're going to see a lot of drivers try to run that outside wall, but it is such a long way around the speedway. You just give up so much time rolling that outside lane, and the drivers down low are just going to steamroll right down and around you out there on the racetrack. As you do see Ellington hard up into the outside fence right there. Tough hit there for the 33 ride. Hopefully no major damage for that 5.6 graphics 33 ride as he keeps on battling here, trying to keep Chad Puterbo back there at bay. You'll see the 26 ride right there, Matt Fletchel, Tyler Ryan, Jason Calhoun, the 720 of Jackie Whaley back in the 17th position. Last driver out there on the racetrack right now in that 17th position, as Jeremy Sexton still hanging on to the race lead. Now starting to feel a little bit more comfy as he's got a couple car length lead between himself and that 91 rider Tyson Pankow, as Pankow rolls back there in position number 2. Bit of a gap here, but the same gapage between the top 3 here, as Jim Revis back there in 3rd, and he's got about 7/10 or so between himself and that 20 rider Philip Sexton. So Sexton able to work his way around the TNT Racing rider Tim the Toolman Taylor, sliding Timmy back into position number 5 out there on the racetrack. We'll have to wait and see if Tim can try to navigate his way another spot here, if he can try to hold off his teammate Ty Ralph. Is Ralph looking to the outside of that 99 Ryan, trying to get around his teammate here and his team owner out there on the racetrack, and looks like Ty, great run down into corner number 3. We'll see if he can carry that momentum out of corner number 4 right there. Looks like he will, and he will claim that 5th position away from Tim Taylor. So Taylor slides back to 6 now, and now he's got another driver to deal with. It's the 71 rider William Hargreaves. Hargreaves trying to navigate his way back up towards the front here. He works the inside lane and now pulls up door to door with that 99. Tim Taylor's going to try to drive it down low here, kind of cut him off a little bit. But the 71 ride plans for it. Keeps that car pinned down low, looking for a great exit here on quarter number 4, trying to stay door to door with the 99. Can't quite get there, and that's going to allow Tim to try to take that middle bottom lane back away from the 71. Is out in front though? It is Jeremy Sexton, and the laps are clicking down here in a quick hurry. Is Jeremy looking to pick up another checkered flag here in that Sexton paint and body Cocky Floyd Consulting Doghouse Chassis number 2020 ride, as the dog Mad Dog himself here this evening. Down across the line, we'll see only 2 more laps left to go. So 2 more laps left here from Williams Grove Speedway as our 3rd race of the dirt track, this is called the Circle Track Showdown, the DWRL Circle Track Showdown, our 3rd race of this series. And down across the line, Jeremy Sexton will see that white flag fly. So next flag will end this race no matter what. And for Sexton, has a pretty good gap between himself and Tyson Pankow. He's on cruise control out at corner number 2 and down the back straightaway for the final time here this evening. As the battle may be on for 3rd here, it's all Jeremy Sexton though out in front, continuing to lead this race. There's contact as the 20 ride trying to steal 3rd away from Jim Revis, but it's all the Mad Dog Jeremy Sexton, as Sexton picks up the checkered flag here this evening. He was the reflection of perfection. It started with that pole position, never looked back, led this race and kept all these drivers back there at bay, and able to put himself up and into the Williams Grove Speedway victory lane. As Tyson Pankow coming on with a solid 2nd place finish here this evening for the Bulletproof Motorsports Dirt Track Junkies 91 ride. They're in position number 2. And Jim Revis, Jim, able to finish off our podium here as the DWR number 57 ride, the iRacing I Flag Dirt Panda, slingingdirt.com, number 57 ride of Jim Revis there. That Lives Retail Liquor Machine comes home in position number 3. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up here for our top 3 here this evening, but give it up for the 2020 as Jeremy Sexton picks up the checkered flag. We'll get ready to pull him in the rest of our top 3 up and into the broadcast booth here for their post-race interviews. His post-race interviews coming up next here this evening. We'll wait for these drivers to slide up and into the broadcast booth here this evening as Evan Stefanski, Evan coming in with that heart reaction, Tyler Hanna coming in with that like on the stream, my boy Jeremy Vaughn Racing coming in with that heart reaction as well, showing the love here in this one. As Steven Stokes says, great race, Jeremy Sexton. Matt Fletchell says, we sucked. Time to retire from these? No, Matty, no, brother. I think it's just this racetrack, man. This is a tough track. This is a tough track. When you throw 30 drivers out there, man, and a lot of them that don't race each other on a regular basis or anything else, this is just one of those tracks that seems to be a bit of a caution fest, especially with these dirt street stocks, man. And it seems to always be that case. But nonetheless, we keep on battling through as we'll look to try to bring our top 3 up here into the booth. As waiting down pit side is our race winner, Jeremy Sexton. We'll get him up here into the broadcast booth right now. Hey, Jeremy, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Did you get a copy?
Yes, sir.
Jeremy, man, what a run, what a race. Take us back through this one, man. Obviously, a lot of caution flags, a lot of restarts for you, but you're able to just keep this 2020 run, pointing the right direction out in front of the field and keeping a lot of fast cats back there at bay. You had so many different drivers trying to figure out a way to get around you here this evening, and not one of them could find their way past you out there on the racetrack as you're able to slide yourself up and in to the Williams Grove Speedway victory lane.
Yeah, it was definitely nerve-wracking with Massey right there knocking on my back bumper most of the race. I hated to see him have to leave like he did, but he had to pull over to register for another race, and it, for some reason, put him to the back. So he went ahead and left.
Yeah, absolutely. Tough break there for Jamie Massey. Would have been fun to watch you guys duke it out here late in this race, but nonetheless, you had your hands full still out there on the speedway. A lot of these restarts, you have different drivers all over your back bumper. You have Ty Ralph there, you have Tyson Pancount, Jim Revis, and so many other fast cats try to figure out a way to just get around you. And you didn't really give them an open door. You didn't make really many mistakes or any mistakes at all that you slid up the track and left the bottom open for them to steal it away from you or watch them up on the high side drive around you there, so you're able to just kind of play your cards perfectly, keep that car right where you needed to have it there to not only run good laps and keep yourself fast out there on the racetrack, but also just trying to keep all these guys back there at bay and taking away their lines to navigate their way forward.
Yeah, I think I made one bad mistake early on, and luckily the caution, I think, come out, or either Jamie got clipped a little bit, but I hooked that piece of metal in turn 1 at the bottom with the left front a little bit. But I really kind of shocked how the racetrack just stayed right around the bottom the whole time. We ran here Monday for their test and tune deal, and it was more of a slider line both ends. The bottom only held up for a little bit and then it went away. So I was anticipating that slider line and Massey kind of getting a run on the outside, but it never really came in tonight for some reason.
Yeah, never really seemed to have that slide job lane out there on the speedway. Really seemed to be more bottom dominant. We saw a few drivers trying that extreme high side, but just such a long distance around the racetrack when you're up there. And any of the speed or momentum that you can't carry up there, you kind of give it all away by running it itself up there on that high side. So the bottom lane just seemed to be the place to be, and then it was just all about trying to keep yourself from getting ran over out there on the racetrack. And these restarts were a big question mark for, I'm sure, yourself and a lot of these drivers. That's where we saw a lot of these back-to-back caution flags. Is so many different driving styles out there on the racetrack, and so many different guys out there that may not run together on a regular basis. And one guy gets in there a little bit lighter, trying to back the corner up, trying to get a better exit, and the guy behind you sending it in there a little bit deeper, trying to get a little bit more speed into the corner entry. And that's where we tend to see a lot of issues. And for you, having so many drivers, different drivers on your back bumper, had to be some nerve-wracking restarts out there, knowing that one of them could get in a little too deep, clip you, spin you around, bring that caution flag out, but have you be sent to the back of the pack as well.
Oh, most definitely, man, because it's hard to really judge when somebody's braking or how hard. So I was really trying to not over brake. If I missed the entry to turn one, I would just let the car float through the middle, because I didn't want to stack everybody behind me, wreck them, nor get myself taken out, because that'd end your whole night. My brother Philip, he kind of mic'd up to me in the middle of the race and told me to quit trying to hug the tires at one end of the track and let the car kind of drift up and then turn back down and hug the wall, and that made a big difference. So that was kind of the deciding factor, I feel, late in the race, to get a little bit of distance.
Yeah, absolutely. It's giving yourself that distance, getting those big runs, and just keeping yourself pointing in the right direction. It seemed like it was the name of the game here, and it seemed like it was tough for a lot of drivers here this evening to keep themselves out of the carnage and mayhem out there on the racetrack, and no one does it better than yourself here this evening as you park that 2020 ride back up into victory lane, winning our third race here on the season for the Circle Track Showdown. Jeremy, who would you like to thank for picking up the dub again here this evening?
First and foremost, God. Without him, couldn't do none of this, obviously, and I'm very blessed to have a good support group and family that supports me as well. Like to thank JC Floyd, Cocky Floyd, of course. I wouldn't be here where I'm at the moment without his help. Then my brother Philip, my son Jacob, Marcos Pays, Derek Rice, Stephen Stokes, Seth Castle, everybody that races in the kennel with us day in and day out. Jordan Gage has helped me a ton. All those guys we race every day with and build each other up and help each other to try to find where we're lacking at one track or another. And Jim for putting the league on, you for the broadcast, Jackie, Jeremy Akins, everybody that makes DWR operate, because this is the premier league race to run right now. Always has good competition. And I'd like to give a huge shout out to Jim making the podium. Man, that's awesome. I know everybody in our Discord was cheering him on. Philip was back there trying to take it away, but deep down we all wanted to see him up here.
Absolutely. We all definitely want to see Jim get a good run here and a good finish here this evening. Tim Taylor was up there as well. Definitely a couple guys that I was not only surprised to have up there and competing for, a podium or a race win here this evening, but when I saw them get up there, man, and we were all cheering them on here this evening. But for yourself, you're able to just keep them back there at bay, not wanting to give up that race lead. And for Pankow, right there, he's trying to take it away from you. You're able to hang on, though, and put yourself back up here into victory lane. Jeremy, congrats on the great run once again, brother, and hopefully we'll see you back up here in the broadcast booth next Wednesday.
Yes, sir. Yeah, last week I think your stream messed up on you.
Yeah, it did, yeah.
We missed it last week,
yeah.
But that was an interesting race. For sure.
It was definitely an interesting race. I got a little bit of it. You can go back and rewatch it. It's just going to be super skippy. Yeah, for some reason, Streamlabs was just, it was all messed up. Every time I think I tried to go live like 5 times. I restarted my PC. I tried to restart Streamlabs, and it must just be a Streamlabs glitch or something. The next day, I uninstalled and reinstalled Streamlabs. It seems to be working since then. So hopefully it keeps on working and we don't run into more issues, or else we'll be switching providers for that. But we'll have to wait and see.
There you go.
But nonetheless, man, it was a heck of a show last week and a heck of a show this week for yourself as you're able to find victory lane, and can't wait to see you back out there on the racetrack next Wednesday.
Thank you, sir. You have a great night.
You too. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our race winner, Jeremy Sexton. And Sexton gets it done and puts himself up and into victory lane as we'll get ready now for our second place finisher. The 91 ride, it's Tyson Pankow as Pankow comes home here in position number 2. Hey, Tyson, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. You get a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Tyson, man, heck of a run, heck of a drive here this evening, man. Take us back through this one. A lot of tight battling up there at the front of the field. Obviously, a lot of caution flags, and that kind of just created more issues backing around you guys here. But slowly but surely, you're able to keep yourself out of trouble and find some grooves up there. And all of a sudden, you find yourself driving around the outside and put yourself up into position number 2 here this evening, late in this race, trying to get those restarts, trying to find that extra little bit of speed to maybe try to steal this win away from Jeremy Sexton. But obviously could not get that run you were looking for. Had to settle in for second here this evening, man. Take us back through this race and what's going through your mind right now as you park it up on the podium.
We qualified pretty good. Yeah, I don't know. I was probably honestly a sixth place, maybe in a seventh place car. I was trying to save a little tire, and looking at the tires after the race, I didn't save no tire. And I don't know. To me, the top never came in, and I tried it a couple times, and I was losing time, and I even tried it there late. I don't know. It was that second to last restart. I was keeping pace with Jeremy, and there was nothing up there, and then that last restart, I couldn't keep pace with them. I couldn't keep the car straight enough, and didn't have a good enough exit speed to keep up with them. So second is what it is. So
Absolutely, but when you look through the field and you see the caliber of drivers around you, and you look at some of the guys that have been around the scene for a long time, like Jim Rivas there on your back bumper, you had Massey in the field, Hargreaves out there, so many other fast cats, you got to be pretty happy with a solid second place run here tonight on what was a pretty chaotic afternoon of racing action.
listen, I'm talking to you. I finished perfect. It's a win for me. So we'll take it and move on to next week.
Absolutely, brother. That's always a good night. We were able to jump up here into the booth post-race. That means you're top three at least and able to celebrate at least having a solid run and for the most part came yourself out of trouble. But, man, those caution flags, how tedious was that, man? How do you keep yourself focused out there on the racetrack, having to kind of redo restarts over and over and over again out there on the racetrack?
It's not bad if it's a single file, but when they double it up and you're stacked out on the outside and there's nothing out there, it's like, oh, I'm going to lose maybe one, possibly two. I mean, hell, I could have lost three positions on a couple of those restarts that I started on the outside, and I got lucky on a lot of cautions. If you actually was watching and going back and looking, I lost positions on several green flag starts, and the caution came out in time and saved me, and I was able to get my spot back. So they, as much as they hurt me, they also helped me. So I don't know. What do you do?
Exactly. Not a whole lot you can do. Yeah, we obviously saw a lot of times where yourself and even other drivers, man, that little bit of contact down through 1 and 2, and all of a sudden it's just mayhem down the back straightaway where we see you guys 3, 4, 5 wide. Everyone trying to squeeze out of corner number 2 or back down the back straightaway into 3, and that's normally when we see those additional caution flags come out when we kind of get the field stacked up. But a lot of times it's just that little bit of instance, man. Take us back, throughout this racing, really how you have to run this racetrack with a lot of drivers that normally either don't run together or drivers that you don't really know, and you kind of got different driving tendencies. Some drivers like to back the corners up, other drivers drive it in there deep, and that's normally where we see those issues where someone gets into the back end of somebody else, and it kind of just stacks everybody else up back behind them when everyone starts to check up.
Yeah, it's hard. Everybody breaks at different points, at this racetrack, and I break real heavy at first, and then let off, trail break a little bit. Where other guys they drive it in real deep and then break, so it can really mess your momentum up, depending on which style you are and who's in front of you. I know on one of those restarts, I about wiped out Jeremy. I mean, I smoked him going into one. I I don't know what the hell happened, but I about ended his race. So luckily that didn't happen. And for the most part, everybody where I was at, most everybody was paying attention, but it's hard. This racetrack's probably the hardest because of how tight the corner is. You gotta really lay on the brake and be confident in the guy behind you because he can ruin your race even without trying. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what we saw over and over again here tonight. But luckily enough, you're able to hang on to it, keep that car rolling, point it in the right direction, and you park yourself up here in position number 2. Tyson, who would you like to thank for such a great run and strong performance out there on the racetrack?
I got to thank coaches, Discount PC Parts, Milner Media Designs for the wrap, my boys at Bulletproof, Taylor's Heating and Air, my product sponsor Sim Magic and all that garbage I got, and you for the broadcast, and Jim and his guys for putting on the show that he puts on. It's fantastic.
Absolutely, brother. Well, Tyson, heck of a run, heck of a drive here this evening, brother. We look forward to seeing you back out there on the racetrack next Wednesday for our next installment of the Circle Track Showdown.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Enjoy the rest of your night.
You too.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our second place finisher, Tyson Pankow, as Pancakes comes home in position number 2 here this evening. Shout out to Brian Ellington coming in with that like on the stream, and also huge shout out to my boy Big Bacon Gaming, Casey coming in, showing the love here as well, inviting his viewers to come join the stream here this evening. Everyone from the Big Bacon community, welcome in. Hopefully you guys are enjoying some of our post-race interviews. Unfortunately, the racing action has come to a close here this evening, but nonetheless, hopefully Big Bacon Casey, hopefully you had yourself a wonderful day out there on the Speedway. Hopefully you had yourself a wonderful stream as well, brother, as we'll get ready to pull in our third place finisher here this evening. The 57th Jim Revis. Jim comes home in position number 3 here today. We're going to have to play this back just ever so slightly because yeah, it is time to bring Jim up here into the booth. Let's see if we can get Jimbo up here into the broadcast booth right now. Hey, Jim, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. To get a copy?
What's up, buddy?
Not much, Jim, man. Top 3 finish for you here this evening, man. Take us back through it and what's going to go through your mind right now?
I don't know if it was from driving, attrition, or missing the wrecks or what, but somehow I ended up third.
Absolutely. You make it home in third here this evening. Obviously, a lot of fast cars behind you, a lot of restarts out there that you got to deal with. But, man, that was a lot of fun. We had a lot of people in the grandstands cheering you on, wanting to see you be able to pick up this top 3 finish and maybe even more out there on the racetrack. But, man, it's got to feel good to be back up here, at least into the booth. Obviously, it never feels as good as a win. But here tonight, with all the craziness, all the mayhem that happened, we saw you get tied up early on in a couple issues, but able to rebound from that and race your way up here for a top 3 performance.
Dude, with the guys we got racing here in this league, if I'm in the top 10, I'm happy. And being in the top 3, that's like a win for me. So, my hat's off to these guys for every week coming out supporting DWRL and all the drivers we have show up. We end up having to cut some of them, try to keep our dedicated guys. But dude, with this caliber of guys, I mean, they're all names out here. Everybody knows them, so they're all good. They're all respectable. I can't complain a bit about a third place finish.
Yeah, absolutely. Can never be too upset about a third place run out there on the racetrack. But, man, that was a ton of fun out there, man, watching you guys battle and duke it out, obviously, with all these restarts and trying to figure out how to drive this racetrack. And this track changed a ton like it usually does, going from pretty tacky up there. We saw the bottom side early, then going towards the middle a little bit, and then everyone there late in this race, once they kind of got slicked off, everyone was just trying to find grip anywhere out there on the racetrack. You're either hugging that bottom lane or you're trying to hang on through the middle of it or bouncing off that wall up there on the high side.
Yeah, we've been playing with the race settings for each track, and we're narrowing it down. The only difference from this and Monday night's track was I increased the humidity 10%. So I'm thinking that less humidity makes the track racier, opposite of what you think. So next Monday, I think we're going to go down to 25%, somewhere around in there, see how that races. And like I said, we're trying to get multiple lines going, so it just ain't single file. I know, with the carryover, it gets slick, usually goes single file. So hopefully we can figure something out to where we can get the racing a little more side by side and a little more exciting for the fans that watch and everything. So like I said, it's coming along, and then like the September or October, November, something around in there. I think we're going to take the Wednesdays back to the league like it used to be, invite only series, and go do some points running or something like that. So see how that works out. But like I said, with the group of guys we got here, with us being league owners here at DWR, we can't complain with the guys. They respect us. They respect the other drivers. Their weekly support, week in and week out. The input I get on private messages on maybe try this or maybe try that with the track, or just thanks for putting the show up on means a lot to us. You know, there's I don't want to say there's a lot of effort goes into it, but there's quite a bit of effort. A lot of us guys here at DWR do in our free time to put these shows on and everything, and the donations we get from the drivers and sponsors and supporters, it helps pay you, helps pay the fees to get the servers up and going and all that stuff. So like I said, I'm proud to be third, but I'm more proud of the guys that race with us and the dedication, and really, really proud to see old Tim Taylor up there battling with me. We're usually back here battling for side by side for 18th, 16th spot, and see him up there battling side by side with me was great. The last few laps, uh, I was doing everything I could to keep Philip behind me. The last lap, I hated he could pull me coming out of turn 3 and 4 big time. 1 and 2 I could pull by him, but he just had the grip coming out. So my only thing was I had to hug the bottom of the turn and slow everything way up in order to even have a shot at making it. If we'd have had one more lap, you wouldn't have been talking to me. You'd have been talking to Phil.
Yeah, we saw him there working your back bumper, trying to find a way around you, but he couldn't figure it out soon enough as you're able to come across the line, come home with that third place finish here this evening. Jim, who would you like to thank here tonight, man, for such a strong performance out there on the racetrack?
I know I said it a million times tonight and everything, but first and foremost, I got to thank all the guys that support us here. Uh, I think in the end, we had close to 40, 45 cars join the server, and I think we had 32 start the feature. So, you know, shout outs to them most of all for their continued support. Then a shout out to, you know, my DWR guys. Without them and the help they put in with this, uh, it'd just be too much work on this old man. Gotta give a big shout out to my main sponsor, iRacing iFlags. He's been my support with me for going on probably 6 years now. So big shout out to him. Finally got up here to mention his name. Um, who else we got here? Hell, been so long since I did this. Viv's Retail Liquor. Big shout out to her for watching all the time and always cheering me on, no matter if I'm 10th or last. So big shout out to her. Dirt Panda. Big shout out to them. SlingingDirt.com. Nerditudes. School of Racing Graphics. Shout out to them. Grumpy Graphics. And damn, I think that's about it.
Beauty, well,
Yeah,
Jim.
yeah. I'm having to scroll over the car to look. I ain't been up here in so long. I ain't even got a list made out or anything. So if I missed anybody, I'm sorry. Congratulations to Jeremy on the win. I think if we had a hard luck award, I think that would have to go to Marcos Pace tonight. Poor guy. He caught the wall on lap 1, damaged his car, then got into his teammate, then got into somebody else, and he said just DQ him for the night, that was 2. And I told him, I said, nah, we ain't running for points. This is all for fun. So gave him another EOL, and he goes back to the back, and I think the poor guy wrecked again.
Yeah, there was a lot of drivers here tonight that definitely be up for that award. A lot of carnage, a lot of beating and banging out there, and nonetheless, man, a ton of great racing action. 2, 3, 4 wide battling out there on the Speedway. And Jim, congrats here tonight for picking up the third place finish. Hopefully, many more podium trips here for you in the DWRL, and hopefully here over the next 5 or 6 races of this series, then going into the points series. Hopefully, many more trips for you up here, and I hope one of these nights we get you back up here into victory lane.
I appreciate it, man, and big shout out to you. I mean, you know, being our broadcaster for DWR. I don't know how many years you've been doing it for us, but you know how much we appreciate it and everything. And anybody out there watching, you want the best in the business, hit peace up, man. He'll take care of you.
Absolutely. I appreciate that, brother. Well, Jim, enjoy the rest of your night, man. Enjoy that third place run, and hopefully we'll see you right back up here next Wednesday.
I appreciate it, Aaron. Thank you, sir.
Absolutely. Enjoy the rest of your night.
You too.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, Give it up there for Jim Revis as Jim comes home in position number 3, man. What a run, what a drive there for that 57 machine as Jim comes home there in the 3rd spot. Unfortunately, that will do it for us here this evening as the racing action, unfortunately, has come to a close. So we can't thank you guys enough, though. All the fans of the stands, everybody tuning in, showing the love here throughout the evening, all the likes, the comments, the shares, any of the star senders, any of the new followers, any of the new subscribers over on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, man. We appreciate each and every single one of you guys. If we did miss your messages or donations or anything else, we do apologize. We try to get to them, and we'll go back through the comments post-race, make sure we catch up with everybody, and thank you guys for all the love and support here throughout the evening. But listen, unfortunately, that's going to do it for us here tonight. Racing action has come to a close, and we'll have to get ready to see these guys back to battle next Wednesday evening. But we'll be back up here in the broadcast booth tomorrow night as our Hypershift Racing League goes back to battle, so we'll be back up here in the booth tomorrow evening. Some more amazing racing action here on Peacemaker Gaming just around 9 o'clock Eastern time, so make sure you guys have those bell notifications turned on. That way you never miss it when we go live here on Peacemaker Gaming. But thank y'all for watching, thank y'all for tuning in, and we'll catch y'all back here in the next one. Peace and love, ladies and gentlemen. Peace and love. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday afternoon.
Engines rumble, primal roar, putting us to the test. Helmets on, we're all strapped in, trying to do our best. From the bleachers, cheering loud, a father and his child. Every driver, heart aflame, and adrenaline runs wild. It's the Circle Track Showdown on the dusty, dry, slick ground. 4 wide, side by side, with glory to be found. Hammer down, around we go, looking for more speed. This ain't no asphalt ballet, and nothing's guaranteed. Cars running on the high side, looking for more grip, drifting sideways and holding tight, trying not to flip. Rubbing fenders, bumping doors, ain't no time for doubt. Pushing hard past the limit, we're truly going all out. It's the Circle Track Showdown on the dusty, dry, slick ground. 4 wide, side by side, with glory to be found. Hammer down, around we go, looking for more speed. This ain't no asphalt ballet, and nothing's guaranteed. One last lap, the checkered flag flapping in the breeze. Heart is pounding, mud is flying, bringing us to our knees. Cross the line, a thunderous cheer, victory has been claimed. King of the track, the champion here, the track has been tamed.